Three,
One. Hello, I'm John Cannon of the class of 1981, and this is St. Henry's. This is the last month that they're having any services, and after that, this building goes up for sale, and whenever they sell it, it's going to get demolished. So we'd like to take one last trip together. So take a look at the old school, what's left of the rooms, and just reminisce a little bit. There's two things. One, this is during COVID, so we're all wearing our masks, which is why we look like this. And I want to basically dedicate this entire thing to my father, John Cannon Sr., class of '56, who is the last of the alumni who still goes to the services here regularly. And he has been going to mass here for over 75 years. So let's begin. It's behind you, actually. We're going to go to the earliest stuff. As I recall, and remember, this is subjective from my point of view. Everyone, please jump in when you want. This was really nothing more than a storage room at the time, or a teacher's lounge, because halfway through my time here, the teacher's lounge upstairs disappeared. I'll talk about that later. These were the kindergarten and the preschool. Now, at one point, they flipped, and I don't remember exactly when that was, but in my time, this was preschool. Somehow I thought it would have been a shorter toilet for preschool kids.
I didn't have those.
But as you can see, everything looks different. This was the room. And now they're just using it for storage. Hey, I remember these.
Oh, yeah.
All right, anyone donations? Anyone donations? Remember this? That's how they got across those schools. I know, not many people probably remember this.
Oh, wow.
But I want to go through one at a time.
The donation thing?
Oh, this room was
Oh, I
even
remember
worse. This room is utterly unrecognizable now. I don't think this door even existed. Where you were standing right here used to be a coat room with the old hooks. All our shoes and boots on the ground.
Are those still upstairs?
Those were upstairs too, but I remember there was also one here. I don't know if it's still upstairs. I haven't been there yet.
Oh.
There used to be a really fun playhouse.
Oops.
We're going up.
Okay.
Old stone stalls. I've never seen one else.
Wow. Do I get to go in the boys' room finally? I don't think I've ever been in the boys' room.
No, I've never been in the girls' room, so.
There we go.
I get that on every tour.
Oh, yay. Oh, look at, maybe I have been in here. That's hilarious. Wow.
Hey, there's still toilet paper up there.
Is it yours?
No, I don't think anyone will last that long.
Oh my. Got a little leakage going on up there.
These are newer toilets. These are not the original ones that went all the way to the ground, the urinals.
Oh, I think, yeah.
But these are definitely the same ones.
The short little toilets.
All right, I'm going to go in the order where the grades were in my time and may not match yours.
Used to have like a little milk machine down there.
Yeah, some things never change. The clock.
Oh, yeah.
It's still here. Exactly. I am not certain. Does anyone remember, were those numbers there in our time?
I think so. I remember
I seem to have a vague memory of it, but for me, this was first grade.
Yeah. Oh my God, they still have quiet.
Backwards.
And yes, they still do have
Ooh.
a coat room.
No, oh, okay.
Old court.
The old hook.
Yeah, the old speakers. In case you're wondering what the TVs are for, the Vietnamese church has so many people come from all around that they actually fill all the classrooms up almost to capacity, and then watch those kids downstairs and watch the mass from up here.
That is like awesome.
Attention.
You know, I didn't go to school here, but where I went to school in those days, same speakers.
It's like I know the windows are different because all I did was crack them open and the D's would come in.
Uh-huh.
It's like, they go, wasn't any here.
That is definitely true. I'm looking at that cross
See?
and the dust on it.
Remember when they used to roll a TV in and we got excited? Now they have one.
I don't remember much from.
And whoever got to run the projector, oh my God, it was a big deal.
The one thing I remember from first grade is that I had Miss Goshi.
Goshi.
However,
That's I couldn't remember that
when I got
name.
to second grade, I knew she got married over the summer. From that point on, she was known as Mrs. Farwell or Farewell. I'm not sure, but I was so stoned as no, I'm going to call her Miss Goshi.
I couldn't remember that name, Goshi. I was like, going, yeah, I remember it now.
For some reason, they put a new floor in.
Oh, did they?
Because in the other rooms,
Oh, I
you
wonder.
can see where the desks were bolted to the floor.
Oh, yeah. And I remember those desks.
The wooden desks,
Yeah.
the wooden ones.
Yeah, they had a metal base
Yeah.
and it came up and they were stationary. But and in the other rooms, you can see it, but I don't see it. Every time you guys know of Our Lady of Angels?
I don't know.
Our Lady of Angels was a church on the west side. And in December 1st of 1958, it caught fire. And in the news, you could see it was similar to this, the way it was, there was a two-story thing. It had windows like this.
Mm-hmm.
And on the news, they were showing where the kids were standing in the windows because the firemen were on ladders
I remember now.
trying to get, and some of the kids jumped,
Oh, my.
And every time I see these windows, what I think.
Ooh, I remember.
This is sad, this is my first grade.
This was like,
Now, for some people,
76, this
have
was like
said
6th grade, I
They
think.
remember their favorites were the 6th or 7th or 8th grade teachers. This was mine, Miss Mulcrow. She was here, I think, longer than almost any other teacher except probably Mrs. Clemens, who probably would still be here.
Well, when we were here, it was more a lot of nuns.
The one thing that's different though is the chairs themselves. I thought they were. Remember, didn't they have like wooden tops that were longer and wider?
Yeah, they were wide wooden tops.
Yes, the whiteboard is crazy, seeing the whiteboard.
Yeah, I'm like, what's that blackboard?
They still got the top
Outside
part.
here.
Yeah, this was first grade.
This used to be a dilapidated old parking lot, not with just gravel. We
Oh,
used
it
to
was asphalt on one side,
exactly.
gravel on the other
That's
side.
right. That's where they had what used to be a baseball field over there, which had nothing I think left but the backstops.
Oh, what was
And
it?
this is where we had the carnivals for many years before they moved it behind us. And we played all sorts of games out there, but now it's been bought by Loyola University, and it's, I guess, a combination of softball and soccer. Things.
Because you can't get too many shots of a closet. Why the ceiling?
All right, everybody. Once for old time's sake, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States American order. Well, I can't. I can't remember all that.
And to the
In
republic.
order to form a perfect union for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I've got it.
This is the principal's office.
Yes, I don't think this one's over. No, I guess just as good. This is the principal's office, I believe. Oh God, I don't remember. Was it Sister Victoria and then it became Sister Mary something? I don't remember. I was lucky. I never had to go to the principal's office. I was a good chief's guy. My brother, youngest brother Kevin, that's a different story, which we'll get to later. Third grade. Okay, Edgar Andino, who's in my class. This is the one teacher's name I can't remember.
Thank you. I couldn't remember. It was a nun. I remember that.
Right.
She had heavenly breath. And because it was coffee and cremoro.
We had two
Your
nuns
sister?
teach us.
Short?
In fifth grade.
Yeah, it was third
But I
grade
don't
or
remember
fifth.
this one.
Short?
Yes, short, very petite.
Sister Eileen?
Eileen!
Sister
Thank
Eileen.
you!
She was
That's it.
mean.
She was mean. She was heavenly to me. I'm sorry.
Oh, she'd whip an eraser all the way across the room. She had good aim.
Actually, it's the fourth grade teacher. I remember starting in Main Street.
There's another one I could think of.
We had Sister Veronica in fifth grade, right?
Yes, we'll get to that when we get there. I have some very fond memories of her. In fact, she probably influenced me more than anyone else for some of my interests. This is old.
I had the lines so you can write your letters and stuff.
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah, this was second grade for my
There are
class.
some things the same. The black top here. You can see the old original St. Henry's Church off in the distance. That will stay, by the way, that the Croatian church, it is not going away. What you see here is a statue of Mary and baby Jesus. And I guess it's a very important symbolism for especially the Vietnamese. And beyond that, everything is different. I mean, there used to be an old jogging track over there, and
Yeah.
for those who could really remember, there was a humongous smokestack over there. I mean, it was just huge. It needed everything in Misericordia. But by my time, they'd already stopped it because it turned out to be too inefficient. And eventually, it went away like everything else. Oh, I just realized something else is original and still here. Lighting
Oh, good
structures.
God.
Oh, yeah, so let's get the original, some of the other ones.
Look at the rust on it. All right, we're gonna go to the other side now.
Oh, okay.
One more on this side.
Those aren't the original drinking fountains.
I don't even remember. This is where the
That was the teacher's bathroom.
Okay, this was fourth grade. For me, it was Mrs. Carr.
That's right, Mrs. Carr.
That same flag.
This was fourth grade when I was there.
Radiator. This floor is original.
That'd be kind of nice.
Isn't this Mrs. Black's room?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. The cloakrooms look so small, don't they? Doo-doo-doo. Please hang my coat up in here. Oh, you fit. Oh, I'm always late. Oh, bummer. Yeah, we should write something. Kelly was here.
She retired.
I guess they realized fourth graders are taller than third graders. It keeps going up. Of course, this was used for other grades too. Okay, the new people. All this. Ah, yes, this is better. In fact, now I know why I didn't recognize it. This wall is different. This didn't exist in my time. This whole thing, these two combined, used to be the teacher's lounge. Then, true story, my youngest brother Kevin got in trouble a lot. So my mother kept coming here all the time. One day she decided, you know what, if I'm going to always be here, I'd like to do something useful. She created and built the library herself, and she became the librarian for as long as I think this place existed. And I believe it was big enough that it had to be bigger than this.
When did the library start?
In the middle of my time, so I would say about 77.
I was just saying, because I don't.
I believe it was both, because I don't remember this wall at all. I remember the library was huge, it was a really large thing. I think that didn't exist. I'm not positive.
That wall looks pretty old, though.
So,
I think it just looked bigger in our memory, because we were,
oh, well, that's the case, and the other one is the teacher's lounge.
right, it could be just. Yeah, the teacher's lounge was between it, but there was also the computer room, butted up against the computer.
We're talking in the 70s. What's a computer? Commodore ain't even come out yet.
Yeah, because that was,
This is the last chance to do something I've always wanted to do. See if
Look
I
up
can
to-
get to the roof. I did. I saw a janitor who incidentally has this room. Not much of it.
Used to have like around here,
Well,
but I'm not mistaken, they used to have like they had a milk machine. For one,
machine.
they used to have the one with first they had the one, or one time they had one like a open refrigerator,
Yeah.
and they used to have the one with tokens.
Oh, no, I don't remember that.
But that was just a bad idea.
They started basically just serving stuff in the basement. But I do remember a machine briefly.
They used to have well, I was saying one was like just like an open thing, you'd slide it open or whatever, and you just grab the milk out, and you bring it back to the class.
But that's why we are glad we have people from all different ages here. They remember.
Could never figure out the token thing. Maybe that was their way of figuring out how many milks they should be using.
All right, fifth grade. One reason I hated fifth grade. We went from 2 recesses a day to 1 from this point forward. One reason I loved it, Sister Veronica. She was my second favorite teacher. I don't actually remember too many things because she was very nice. But she read to everybody The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. That started my love of fantasy, which is sci-fi, and my friend over here knows we played Dungeons and Dragons together for a decade or more. Yeah, not quite 6 feet.
Some of us still play.
So we didn't have any ACs in the windows when we were.
What's an AC? We had heaters.
We had that
These were
heat.
here, that's into this. No, I didn't know what that was. Now, there's something that hasn't changed. The rectory office is pretty much the same as it always was.
Yeah, I'm saying that hasn't
But
changed.
beyond that, those who remember my classmate Lynette Letman, her family owned it, the Angel Guardian Florist. It's a very long building there.
Oh,
Loved the place.
yeah, there was a drugstore on the corner.
Oh, Miller's Drugstore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to go in there all the time. You
We're
remember
talking
it?
neighborhood, I remember.
Absolutely.
Drugstore, Crawford's.
And Bud Shagley Bowl upstairs.
Oh, Bud Shagley's. Yeah, for those old timers.
Yep.
Oh, yes. That reminds me. What are we not missing, clothes-wise, that we should be wearing right now? Exactly. Brown pants, gold shirt, and if you wanted to, a brown shirt.
Oh, we were.
Unless you were a crossing guard, then you also had the, you know,
In 7th, 8th grade.
I graduated in '79. So.
I got married here in '84.
Oh wow. Yeah, he got married here too.
Who?
Baptized and married.
Yeah. So this was my 7th grade.
Or maybe this was. This was 5th grade. I had Sister Sylvia in here. Do you remember Sister Sylvia?
I didn't come until 6th.
Okay. Yeah.
I think, no, I came 7th and 8th.
Okay. Wow. Huh. Oh, remember those old speakers? Huh. Let's do it. Let's see what's up there. Matt, see what they have there. If it's just oh, I thought it'd be a map. Oh well. Wow. Hi. Into the cloakroom. This is the office. And they expanded it because they must, no, maybe not. We used to have like the milk cooler was over at this end of the hallway. We'd have to come down and get milk.
Now we know it's upstairs.
Really? Huh. Do you remember getting milk before lunch?
Yes.
Wasn't the milk machine like on this end of the? But where though? I don't see where it would fit. Huh.
Oh,
Fire alarm system.
clinic and
Some of it looks a little new, but some of it looks like it's been
That's
around
an
forever.
That's an old bell.
Just like old school.
Memories like the corners of my mind. Sorry. That's cool.
Come on. Now's your chance. You've always wanted to do this.
I was singing, look at this.
Here.
No, I said it was state of the art.
Push this down and make an announcement.
Good evening, everybody.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I
Yeah.
wanted to find the bell ring.
On behalf of the class of '81, welcome.
About 40 years ago. I put fell in.
You did?
Yeah, they had me over here to cheap labor.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember what you put in?
I don't know, something up here in this room.
Huh.
Had wires going through, so I don't know, something was low.
That's the
I
fire
don't
bell.
remember.
Where's the bell that it's time to come into school?
Oh, yeah?
It used to be in this room.
Used to be in this room?
Kelly,
Yeah?
isn't this where like at first the token machine for the milk was?
Yes! But where did it fit?
So
I don't see where it would fit. Did they move this over or something?
I thought it was over here. I thought it was like up against one of these walls. Maybe it was on the other side. But it was like first it was like a sliding refrigerator.
Yeah,
thing, or-
you'd have to dig in, and that was
try to
really
find the
short.
milks that were still good.
I had to stand on a milk crate to get in there.
And then we had the tokens,
Yeah,
which was they were configured out.
it was like a vending machine of milk.
Yeah.
His footballs, paper pins at Sister Teresa Marie's
Through a
life.
straw?
Huh?
Did you shoot them through the straw? Yeah. You did that too?
And then I cut class.
Oh, no.
Stood in front of the window in seventh grade. Downstairs had a rock, it was bigger, and when I hit it, the glass, it shattered.
Oh, no.
Does anybody know what they did with the pictures that were hanging there with all the reference classes?
I don't know.
John, do you know what they did with the pictures? What graduate classes was?
Because for a brief period of time, she was secretary of the library. In fact, my mother is secretary to this day at St. Ida or Gertrude, I don't remember, but yeah, she still works for the North Catholic Academy. Sue Ellen McCann. She's still working. Okay, this could be any one of the teachers, because Mrs. Hogue and Miss Clemens all had this room at one time. I'm sure there are other people. But this was sixth grade for me, and at the time, we went from fifth to sixth. His hope went up to, I'm sorry, his hope was in,
I'm sorry, what's your name?
Edgar, class of 81 with
You
John.
said Sister Eileen was nice?
I thought she was amazing. Mind you, you have to understand, as an immigrant who just showed up to the United States that didn't know a word of English, she was a saint.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
It's like she
I did not know that.
She made an impression on me. My brother, my sister, and I, we arrived here in the fall of 1975. And my mom said, I got to get you into school. And she already had friends that came here to St. Henry's. So she brought us here. And some of us may not have the best of memories, but I can tell you this from my heart. This breaks me to know that they're going to sell this and it's not going to be St. Henry's anymore, because it's deep in my heart because of the love that I felt from people like Sister Eileen, from Miss Clemens. People that, if I showed up here at 7:30 in the morning and I hadn't had breakfast, Miss Clemens was the first one to offer me something to eat because she knew I hadn't eaten.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Clemens was an
Mrs.
excellent
Hirsch.
teacher. And she got more exposure than most.
Oh, yeah, Hershey was first grade.
First grade, Mrs. Black.
We, the first year that we were here, we had no idea what some of these holidays were. Halloween came around, we had no clue, right? And then Easter, I think it was Easter, came around.
So you were here less than a year.
And the nuns and the priests came to our house to bring us food that Easter weekend, because my mom, she practically worked 7 days a week to keep us here at St. Henry's. That's why St. Henry's is in our heart, and it will be there forever.
Thank you.
That's probably the one.
You were less than a year for the bicentennial. It must have been really interesting.
We did a marathon thing. We did a big annual pom-poms for like 76 things.
We did, I think we did the Gettysburg Address, didn't we, as the
Yes,
stage?
we did.
Yeah, I remember having a beer.
That was fourth grade, I believe.
It's fourth grade, I know that 76.
Speaking of fourth grade, since we're not going to actually go over to the gym, that just reminds me. We used to do individual little class plays or musicals or whatever the heck we did. And I was in fourth grade.
Did we do the shows?
Yeah, in fourth grade,
Came up
we
there.
did Family Feud, and I was Richard Dawson.
Like we did one that was like we did like music through the ages,
Oh, I remember that.
and it was like, and I had the most popular part, which was like because mine was the 50s, so it's like
You had Elvis?
no, I had the grease back hair, and then I had like I had the switchblade comb, and I was up there and we're like, we had to do the comb back of the hair, and it was fun.
Everybody remembered that.
So we were like,
Oh, Penny Social, yes.
I was so proud to that first year. I guess our family won like almost everything. It was bizarre that I never won anything again. I love this little swan candle, white swan with a red candle in the middle of it, a little Christmassy. It was like my leg lamp. Really good teacher.
Miss Clemens, for those who didn't have her, was a stronghold of a woman. She had a strong fist,
Oh boy.
because she did slam somebody up against the wall. That kid bounced back, bleeding nose, go clean up. That was it. That's what we had, right? But she's amazing.
that's what Sister Sylvia was. She was just like going, she wasn't, she was just like going, this is how it is, and
Yeah.
stuck to it and followed
That's
it.
it.
Blues Brothers
Yes.
style teaching.
Yes.
Yes.
I never had that, but yeah, they could do more back then than they could do today.
So, Miss Clemens let us actually sketch on her car.
What?
What?
In the back lot. John, you were
Sketching.
already home by the time this happened.
Oh, man.
I believe it was myself, Tim Moyes, Sam Aiello, and maybe Jose Cervantes, maybe Ben Paz.
Jose, that's the name I haven't heard
Jose
in a while.
Cervantes, yeah. We were in the back and we're like, Miss Clemens, just let us grab your bumper. She's like, all right, just be careful.
Don't tell your parents.
Yeah, don't tell anyone. Don't be doing this anywhere
I
else.
was the paladin goody too. She's never done that.
Oh, that's great.
Who used to do that? It's like going, you saw a Nova come by with those bumper guards.
Oh,
You went to school with Sammy Aiello?
yeah. Are you related to him?
I just broke down the mountain and I said to them,
It's here for the Vietnamese, obviously for celebrations and such, but this was Mrs. Black for me.
Yes.
She had moved from 8th grade to 7th grade the year I came here. And Mrs. Clemens hopped up to 8th grade.
She was 8th grade for us, all right? Yeah. Okay. Did we have 8th grade in here?
One thing special in this room.
Did we have 8th grade in here?
In this room, out that window,
Hogue.
It was the one time that they told us that the space shuttle would actually be visible.
What?
It was on its landing pattern, and I couldn't believe you could actually see the shape of it.
Oh my goodness.
It was obviously high up and very small, but you could actually tell that we were looking at the shape of it.
I remember
It was heading off that way toward Florida. And I was like, wow, the thing must be moving fast if we could already see it like that. It was perfect clear today.
It was Mrs. Hogue.
Hope.
Hogue.
Hoge. H-O-G-E.
the dark hair.
Yeah, short dark hair.
Oh. $1979?
I'm not.
Oh.
I'm 1973.
1978.
78?
1973.
Class of 1981.
And I had a brother.
So
in 19
young. So
I
you
have a
didn't know.
brother
What
in
do you know?
1974 and another one 75.
Yeah, so I have my sisters too above me. Yeah, Ruth needs a little work.
Last person, close the door behind us, please, here.
Oh.
Last person, please hold the door behind us.
Last person, close the door behind us.
Oh.
It hasn't changed at all.
Brother.
I don't remember coming into the bathroom.
You don't?
I don't remember that.
Oh, I do. I remember that.
I think this maybe just like bringing a memory, seeing the light coming through the window, but I really don't have that image. Still the same? Hidden system, the same?
Oh yeah, old
Nothing
radiator.
has changed.
No. Oh yeah,
Look at this, Magda. You know, the water tray?
yeah.
Wow.
Used to have spitballs in there too.
Not me. I would
No,
never.
never.
So when the first year that we got hot lunches here,
Yeah.
they used to deliver them right through here. And
Oh.
they'd always ask for a volunteer to help the guy open the doors, and I was one of those.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, we didn't have hot lunch.
No, I think that's
We just
started in
missed
the
it.
80s.
So this is the back of the church.
Yeah.
Ah. The roads. Okay, I remember this vaguely. Wow. Wow. Huh.
Right, this is priest only here usually.
And the altar service.
Yeah. Altar and rosary. Huh. Oh, Leah, where do they go to? Oh, somebody go up there.
Just access to something up there.
Yeah.
I'll go up there.
Oh, look at all this.
Well, they got their iron and ironing board.
Oh, yeah. what that was all about.
I'm gonna guess it was a curtain,
Right. But
and they might have had like a confessional here or something. That's
oh,
my guess, but I couldn't say honestly to save my life, but it's definitely a curtain track.
huh?
There was probably a confessional.
Yeah, maybe like in person. You know,
Yeah.
not in the. Wow,
My
check.
sister was just saying, she remembers when they would bring us down during the week for confessions and it was in person.
Yeah, someone else will have to narrate this room because honestly, I don't, almost never went in here.
Look at those drawers.
Well, this used to be a music room up until I was here, and the altar servers used to have all their vestments in there and stuff. So the piano used to be in that corner. That's how I remember it.
So you were back here more than I was. I think I've only been back here a couple
You were an
times.
altar boy?
I was.
So were my two brothers. I've never been back here.
No, it was like off limits. You weren't allowed.
You were in trouble.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I
yeah.
only did the choir here.
Yeah, the choir was there, choir practice room. Yeah.
We did it out in the church.
Really?
In your practice? Depending if there was something going on.
No, we
I know a little bit about this.
I say this is where the priests used to
Right, this is
line up all their stuff here.
only here usually.
Let's see if there's maybe some. Look at these drawers.
Ever since they stole the chalice some years ago, I think they keep it in the safe with all the other.
Yeah, I remember when I was here when they,
It was just had a very thin band of gold.
it's to never lock anything.
I know, things have changed.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, that's gonna be.
Yeah, this is the same one, I think.
Yeah, we're about to do
Wow,
that.
this is literally the same one. Oh my god. Oh wow.
And then
Okay.
the station for the cross.
They
Yeah, I
used to
remember doing the
have
altar boy
we used
thing.
to keep them over here.
Oh God. Do they still have those?
These days, the Vietnamese use this as a side chapel, and they have all their weekday masses in here. But if you look at the wall directly behind you, this didn't exist. This was a row of lockers, as I well remember, because I started being an altar boy in 5th grade, and I was the only one who stuck it out until I graduated.
Are they open wood ones?
I think they were, yeah, actually they were,
Okay,
weren't they?
yeah,
They
'cause I
weren't
was an
metal,
altar
they
boy
were wood,
briefly,
weren't
so
they?
I think they're open wood with, you know, like there's just more like a little, like a big cubby almost, you know, but I
Yeah,
think that makes
our
sense.
purple or blue robes were there, depended, I think, on the time of year. I don't know why it was purple for Advent and
White.
or white. I'm not sure. I don't remember. It's been so long.
I was saying like a white, I think it was,
This was the
thought it
reading
was
room
like
first
white.
and second grade when I was here. Mrs. Epperman.
For us, it was the very first music room they had.
He's coming here and do the confession things, I thought.
Oh, that first confessions were in this room. That's right. Then the confessionals out there after.
'Cause you-
Some of these are new crosses, but I know that one.
I know this
set.
one.
That has been here since. I never knew that was even a room. Oh. Now this looks familiar.
Oh, yeah.
Candle snuffer.
Yeah, they have one here too.
Yeah, we're coming out. Slide out. Watch your step. This is
Oh, yeah, this wasn't like, this was all carpeted, wasn't it before?
when I was young, the pews stretched up to almost here, and back there was a bit much simpler carpeted steps up to it all.
Matt, do you remember when our mom was up here at the lectern and it was after she had come back to visit me from the Netherlands and she said she was supposed to say, you know, look not to the netherworld, and she said Netherlands instead?
I remember that. That's funny.
She said she could see you laughing.
But I want to point something out. During my time at school, I remember they raised a lot of money because they said, this is a church. We want stained glass windows. And this is what we got. And when I first saw them, I said, and my aunt goes to All Saints. So in Lincoln, so it's obviously humongous church. It's a basilica, just gorgeous. Stainless steel, going, that's what we got. Well, they grew on me. And if there's anything that I would like to take out of this place before it goes, it would be one of those stained glass windows, encase it in something, and that would be a marker to this place. I know it's silly, it might be better to do something else, but that
No.
was always important. The confessionals, well, some of them are still there. They took confessionals out of here
Are
for
they open?
something. Oh, I'm sure they are.
Oh. Same, like we said, the same kneelers that killed many a knees.
We are running a little late, so I'm not going to do the Stations of the Cross. But look at them on the wall. These are the very same pictures. They have not changed.
These are all original.
I'm just positive. Yeah, let's look at the confessionals then.
No?
Oh, not letting us.
Oh, wait.
Oh, the priest is open.
All right,
We can get on
ooh.
the side.
Priest confessional, and then the,
Open the door.
okay.
Can you slide it? It just slides back and forth, doesn't it? Yep. It's dark in this, maybe you can't see. Let me try the one behind you. Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
Bless me, Father, for I am sinned. Hell, the light's on too.
I just turned it on.
It's amazing to see that. I mean, it's been 20 years.
No, there's, maybe because of COVID.
Oh,
That's-
They're all
those.
empty, yeah. Your dad said that.
Don't you, they used to have the big marble ones?
yes.
Because they used to have them like
But I
over,
think they had them on each side of the main door.
yeah.
Do they still have these on the wall? These have not changed at all? 83, 84?
The first year, that brand new one was there, and we had first communion. Brand new.
Thought maybe to catch you off guard, you throw a couple bucks in there.
Well, if there's any questions on Facebook. That, okay, I remember that sound.
There's so many closing thoughts.
Well, we're all gonna miss the place, even though it's been a long time, it just. Okay, I guess we have a closing song of some kind going on right now.
Do you have any closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts. Oh, this has been fun. Hopefully, maybe we'll get to do something a little more organized. Again, if we get one more chance, I'd like to do this without the technical difficulties and more organized. I don't know. We'll see. More to come. What do you have to say?
Hey, just saying, it's very, very glad that I came to see all this. And to see even the Stations of the Cross. A lot of memories. And seeing all this also reminds me of all the things that I can't remember that I probably should.
There we go. Into the basement. We occasionally had recess down here if it was really crappy out. Basement.
Yeah, I don't remember.
We'll probably get in trouble for coming down a bit.
You know what this was, don't you?
No,
Tornado bunker.
but we never came.
Yeah, this is where you did the tornado drills.
I think it was a bomb shelter too.
Yeah,
Like,
probably. I wouldn't
yeah.
doubt it.
No, it wasn't because there's windows.
Not a bombshell, but it was the tornado area because we did.
was actually dangerous to the windows, so they probably back in bathrooms. No.
It's after you left. It was a cafeteria. This is where we bring the hot food. They have a big machine and heat it up.
No.
No, I never came down
cafeteria, but it was to make them prepare, get the things ready.
Do you remember they used to have the cupcake and hot dogs?
Yes,
Yeah.
hot dog
That's
was great.
10 cents or something like that?
Yeah,
Oh.
and my mom would bake cupcakes. Yeah.
Maybe I was eating your mom's.
Didn't they have like, didn't they have the poorly run costume parties down here
I don't remember costume
for
parties.
Halloween?
No, I don't remember that. I remember having Girl Scout
They
meetings.
assemble
on
us
here.
all down there and you stood up and you go, yeah, I'm in my costume. And you go, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I kind of remember that. Yeah. Oh,
This
funny.
is like the downstairs they used to go at the zoo.
I'm gonna look it over here. Must be another bathroom. There you go. It might be.
Oh.
Wow. Check this out. Huh.
She made me cameraman and ditch me.
Do you remember these radiators? These are heaters.
I don't know, I've seen something like that somewhere. I couldn't add something. Oh, yeah, but this big one, that is horrible.
I remember when it was really cold out and we'd go out for recess and we would stand in these little cubbies. We are locked in.
Oh, we're going to the gym. Oh.
Are we going in the gym? We can go in the gym? Oh, for Christ's sake. Okay. Yay.
It's better than what 3 degrees it was when we woke up.
Right? Oh, gosh. Yeah. I'm coming. Well, then we should do another Facebook Live.
Here smoke.
No. I don't. Probably my parents did that. Doesn't it seem smaller? Do you remember? Holy beans.
That's all because it's like going, you don't have the monster cover like I got on mine.
This looks exactly the same. Into the gym. Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna be leaving soon.
The father, he told me, you guys have to be keep the social distance.
Oops.
Yep.
We understand. I know.
Yep.
And the lines are you recording or something?
Yeah.
Okay, Kelly, remember when they used to have the gym? I mean, there's the gym you play basketball, and there used to be like a line, like maybe like this far out. And that's where the chairs were. And if you went for a foul ball, or foul, you tried to knock the ball back in. A lot of times you ended up on people's laps.
Oh, yeah.
They were all close because the chairs were so
Yeah.
close to the floor. There
That's
was
right.
no.
Past here, they talk all kinds of stuff,
Yeah.
and then they threatened us. They were going to come by and with bats and all that. Miss Clemens walked outside before class ever started. She came out with a baseball bat right to the front, right over here, stood right over there by the white post.
Wow.
With her baseball bat, letting us all come in.
Story when Star Wars first came out and Darth Vader was there. My instant reaction was, oh my God, he looks like a nun, And then years later, when my kids were watching something or other and there was a nun in it and they went, oh, that looks like Darth Vader.
So there we go. You'll have to undo.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, what does it
I
come up
wondered
with?
who 8473 was.
I don't know why. Hey, you know what's funny? You mentioned Sister Sylvia. Loved her too. But you know what's really funny is my mom had her in 8th grade.
What?
Yeah. My mom was 38 when she had me. And she had her in 8th grade. We had her in 5th.
Yeah, I was just saying, my mom had me when I was 20 and everybody else's parents were way older than mine. So, that's
Great cool.
These people are, and you can only see 9.
Hi, Mike, you're not.
Hello.
You're not Aaron. Hey, nobody showed up as a cat. I'm surprised.
I thought you would show up as a raccoon, Kelly.
Well,
I see Marge.
funny screen.
Here's Margie.
You're on mute, Margie.
Hello.
Hello. Nice to meet you finally.
Yeah, we'll have to talk sometime.
Say hi.
Sure.
Say hi.
Um,
Say hi, Lola.
so we'll wait a few more minutes. I
A little too young to go to St. Henry's.
Wait,
Oh,
what?
Denise, you're Nancy's cousin.
So I'm Kelly. My maiden name was Mills. People might remember Matt Mills, who's 10 years younger than me. I graduated in 79. He graduated in 89. Let's see. My parents were Jackie and Chuck, and they were pretty heavily involved in the school. My mom was in Mother's Club and in the Ways Means Committee and Altar and Rosary, involved in the carnival quite a bit. So I have a ton of memories. My brother was baptized at St. Henry's and was married at St. Henry's. So yeah.
I was there for the baptism. It was
Oh,
in a blizzard.
that's right. I have pictures of that somewhere. Yeah.
Wow.
Anybody else want to go?
Oh,
Okay, I'm
I'll step in.
Cannon, class
okay,
of 81,
Go ahead.
oh,
narrator for the tour. That's about all you need to know.
oh, there's more people coming in. I'm glad we waited. All right, I'm going to just pick people. So, Kathleen?
Okay, I graduated in 61. There were 4 Reicherts and another one is on the line here. My 2 older brothers graduated in 56 with John Cannon's father, John. And
Reichert. I know
yeah.
that name very
And then
well.
57. We lived on Sealy, 6434. And then my sister Margie, who will talk more, I guess, graduated in 69. My parents were Marge and Bill Reichert, and they were very active with, ushering in the credit union and the Mother's Club and the Altar and Rosary and Room Mother and all the things that people did back then. And what I missed the whole experience of the parish, how it was everything. It was your Cub Scouts, it might be your sports team, the parents had a bowling league, at least back then. They had card clubs, they had barn dances. And I think it was a wonderful, very cohesive parish.
Did you go to old Bud Shabley's Bowl? Oh, too bad. That was on Devon Avenue up near where Crawford's used to be on the 2nd floor. It was a small bowling alley, but it was the closest local alley.
My mother would have never let me do something like that. She was very strict.
Wow.
All right, that's enough for me.
My mom was on the bowling league there, which was hilarious because I don't think she ever bowled. I mean, she was an awful bowler, but it was good community building. So who's next? Dawn?
Hi, I didn't know we were doing this part. I thought we were watching a video, but Dawn, formerly O'Connor, class of 1987. So there are about probably 19 kids in my class, mostly girls. I think 11 girls and 9 boys or something like that. So, and I'm the oldest of 6. So I'm probably one of the youngest people on here. So most of the folks would have come after that, but friends of the Duffys, hi Mike. And
Hi, Don.
that's it. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, we lived right across the street from the O'Connors, or actually across the alley. There was 8 of us and there was 6 of them, and we pretty much lived at each other's houses.
Wow. So Sue, do you want to go?
Me, Sue. Hi, this is Sue Carderis.
Okay.
I'm also with Margie, class of 1969. I grew up on Ridge, just north of Devon. So I walked from Ridge up to Hoyne every day, past the old rectory, the clubhouse, the convent, the cemetery. My mom and dad were Margaret and Alex Carderas. Also, my mother was very involved in Mother's Club, Altar and Rosary. She would bring the priests albs or whatever they were home and wash them and iron them. My dad was an usher. He was involved with the carnivals. My oldest sister, I'm one of 7, but when my oldest sister is Louise McClement, and she actually went to St. Henry kindergarten through 8th grade. And this would have been, we would have started in the 1940s, because I think she graduated from St. Henry's in 1952. And then her children all went to St. Henry's. My older brother, Chris, was 2 years older than me, Chris Carderas. And my younger sister, Mary Carderas, was 3 years younger, 3 years behind me. So, and like everybody else has said, so many weddings, so many funerals with the family, just so many very, very fond memories of St. Henry's. And I was so glad that Margie and Charlene from our class were so instrumental in putting together our 50th reunion and our 40th reunion, where we could actually attend Mass at St. Henry's and tour the school. So thank you, Margie.
I knew at least one Duffy would have to be here. I mean, there's so many.
Well, I invited the rest of the clan too, so I don't know if they're going to show up or not.
I hope Teresa comes because she was my babysitter when I was first having kids.
Wow.
Well, the class of 69 never had a reunion for 40 years. We weren't particularly a cohesive bunch. There were 40 of us, 17 different high schools, but we had a 40th reunion and we went to Mass and got to tour upstairs. And then just a few months before the pandemic, we had our 50th class reunion.
That was nice.
Yeah, it was great.
This
Nancy,
actually is our 40th anniversary this year, and I was going to have a reunion over the summer, maybe even invite the class of 82, which is really a tight-knit group and are planning their reunion, but it didn't work out. I was trying to get to go into the church then, but they originally said it was going to end in July, but it ended in January. So I had to get this thing done now before it was too late.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. I'll go. I'm Venice Spearis, and I started at St. Henry's 1957, and I wasn't Catholic, so luckily St. Henry's said you had to be 5 by December 31st, where the public school said you had to be 5 by December 1st. So my mom says, well, you go to kindergarten, then maybe we'll transfer you. And then I stayed through 8th grade. And I lived at 6658 Damon, and Mary Jo Dennehy lived in the same building I did. And
I just talked to her a few minutes ago.
And my cousins, well, they owned the candy store next door to the Northtown George's candy store. That was my cousin's family.
Oh, wow.
And then I worked at Crawford's in the cashier's cage downstairs from 1969 to 1974.
Personally, I think Crawford's closed and they cried when my mother stopped shopping there. I mean, we had every clothing item we ever got was at Crawford's.
Yeah, I was there for 5 years. So it was a good part-time job.
I just wanted to say hi. I'm part of the Mathis clan that some of you know, the Cannons and the Duffys. I'm the youngest sibling of all. So I had an older brother, Brian, and my parents were Joe and Kathy Mathis, and so they did all that crazy stuff. So I know the O'Connors and the Duffys and the Cannons too. So
Brian Mathis, I know that name.
From Sealy Avenue.
Yes, from Sealy, 6418. That's where we live.
So 91 was your graduating year?
Yes, my brother would have graduated in 86.
Okay.
Like 20
So I
25 years
also
after I graduated.
So
25
I
years
also
after I
know.
graduated.
I
Yikes.
don't think there were that many classes after 91. It closed some couple, at least 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My
But I was
younger
part of
sister,
the Mark of
which-
Arts and the Danishes. That was like my group. For some of you that know the older siblings of those guys too, and Jackie Mills, we knew her very well too.
Oh, that's my mom.
Yeah,
That's cool.
and the Morrises, that was another big name. My whole 10 years of being there.
Michael James, why don't you go? You laugh.
I'm Michael James, and according to Kelly, we graduated in '79. I was trying to get a different year. So sister Sherry graduated, I think it was '77, and Julie was '75, I think it was. It was like me, Kelly, and like Misty. We both all lived basically on the same block. I lived at like on Rosemont between Bell and Levitt over there. So, and then he used to always hang around with like Brian Skudlerick and George Mardini, Alex Giselle, Michael Duffy. We all hung out and did a lot of stuff together. So I used to always go down to God, like when me and Kelly went down there and did this video, whatever, we ended up going over to Parberty, visiting that store. I was like trying to get a feel for that store again, and it's like, yeah, nothing's around there is the same, but it started changing way back then. And going to like Devon Bank and all the other stuff is still there, but it's just like, it's amazing how everything has changed over there over the years.
Lots of fond memories. I used to love the penny social.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yep.
I loved that.
The first year we ever did the penny social, we cleaned up. After that, we never won a single thing.
Oh, it was rigged.
I'm Mike Duffy. I'm the oldest of 8 Duffys. We moved there in '75 when we were literally kicked out of our old house at Evanston because there was 5 Duffys and three rooms, 3 bedrooms. So we found a spot in Chicago that was built in, I think, 1908 and really never rehabbed since then. My dad was a permanent deacon, which is another reason why we were at St. Henry's and not Gertrude's. But my family was involved for 40 years in the parish. All of us went there. All of us suffered through it. My mom and dad were on the school board, parish boards, and all involved. Hopefully my mom will show up. I invited her and she said she was interested. I have a feeling she just doesn't know how to click the right buttons. But it's nice to see y'all.
The Facebook page wasn't particularly active. We were getting maybe 6 people joining it a year and just trying to keep it alive a bit. Shockingly, last summer, Clavel passed away. And at that point, I thought, gee whiz, this is all me now. And if the same thing happened to me, no one would be able to join the page because it would all stop. And then I met Kelly recently, and I didn't ask her directly. I was kind of hoping she'd volunteer, and she did. And we had a lot of activity of late because of the closing of St. Henry's. It's probably going to die down. But let's keep it going. If you see neighborhood news or parish news or anything you think is interesting, give it a post. And not just now, maybe save some nuggets for the future when things dry up. But because it will. And I grew up in the parish. I was baptized and married there and everything in between. And I'm happy to see everyone here today.
Someday we should have a Montrose Beach party.
Yeah.
Ooh. Who said that?
John Cannon. I said it.
Yeah. No, that'd be fun. I don't think I ever got invited to any of those.
Was the ultimate geek nerd. I was never invited to anything.
Did you ever find out when like for kindergarten, what happened why we didn't get to go there?
I don't know. Everybody says that kindergarten was a thing and it would have been 1970, but for some reason we didn't go. Kathy, did you go? You were at Stone too, right? Yep.
Yep, I was at Stone also.
Yeah. I think something happened to kindergarten that year. It's just like the year that we were supposed to go to Bozo and we didn't. Our year was denied.
It wasn't just you. We went to Bartlemy. That's the only time I ever went somewhere else, was just for kindergarten. Preschool, I went to St. Henry's, Bartlemy for kindergarten, and then back to St. Henry's. And I think it has something to do with either half days or full days at that time. I'm not sure that they were able to get a full-time teacher necessarily for the role. I remember even my mother had to do some teaching in the preschool room. So I don't know the reason. Maybe you do, but somebody might.
I don't even think there was a preschool.
No, there was a preschool. I remember it very clearly because I remember one time, the only time in my whole life, my brother and I were basically putting time out in the closet in the coat room together.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you, Kelly.
Oh,
Thank you,
sure.
Kelly. Yes, thank you.
I will post that online.
Does anybody know what year they built the gym? Because we never had a gym.
Oh, I don't know. It was there when I was there.
Wasn't it?
Like I said, it was hard to hear on there.
After my time there.
After my time, right?
I was saying it was hard to hear on there, but it's like when they used to have they had the basketball games, it's like people would sit around the edge of it and there was like no room. Everybody sat around the edge. I think so. And like you said, if you were going for the ball and you missed, you'd end up like laying on somebody's lap because there was just absolutely no room in that place. It was just so small.
Do you guys remember the hot dog lunches?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was always so cool when your mom would come and or at least for me, it was like, that's my mom. And she's handing out tips to everybody. Ooh.
I remember lunches were like a quarter, I think. And if your mom worked that day, you got your free lunch.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah. Who had hot lunch in this group?
I did. That's all. We didn't have any choice.
Huh. Yeah, we didn't
either,
have lunch.
You either went home for lunch or you had to stay at school, and then you just you had to eat what they gave you, and you couldn't go to recess unless you ate everything off your plate. Wow. So I used to stuff my food in the milk carton.
I brought my lunch every day in one of those old metal lunch boxes, which I wish I still had because they'd probably be worth a lot of money by now.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. They get really stinky by the end of the year, though.
I was living with my cousin at the time, and she was pregnant, and she also had a 2-year-old at the time, and the nuns would pat her belly and go, "Oh dear, you must have been awful young when you had her." She meaning me. She thought that I was her actual daughter, and she's like, "Well, no, she's not my actual daughter."
Oh wow. Yeah, that's a nice way of them. Their nice way of judging, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So what else? Surely
Does anyone know what year Angel Guardian closed?
No.
No, I don't.
No. Was it there when you were there, John?
It was there when I was there.
I know they were tearing down the buildings when I was in high school because we used to sneak around in there and try to, use it like a hangout. But yeah, those buildings.
Didn't we have to do something? It's called Day of the Spirit or something. We had to make like a banner and then go and do a good deed or something. Didn't we go to like the Misericordia home or something?
It was before my time.
I don't remember that.
We all got buttons that had a flame on it and it said Day of the Spirit.
Wow. You have better memory than I do.
Based on how often the teachers were yelling in our class, I think they were just happy to get us through the day. Much.
Yeah. So who remembers Sister Carlene?
Oh, yeah.
She was
Yeah.
the Carlene. That's it. She was the first principal I had.
Yep.
Our principal too. The only one we had. So.
Mrs. Black was my girl. I loved her.
Huh. Yeah. I like Sister Sylvia. She was one of my favorites. And Miss Hogue.
Yeah, I love Miss Hogue. She was nice.
Yeah.
Hogue?
Hogue, 7th grade. Yep.
We had her.
I'm like so many. Don't
We
remember
went
all
into
of them.
her room for like social studies or something, right?
I don't remember. Oh, well.
Does anyone remember when the nuns' habits changed? I was in 7th grade when that happened, and we were all so anxious to see what color hair they had and if they really had hair. And so my 7th grade teacher was Sister Ignatius, and she had red hair, and that was shocking.
That's hilarious.
Does anybody remember that when their habits changed? Or Margie, you must.
I vaguely remember. I felt, but I remember when they went from this, they used to have the whole.
That's right.
Right. And then the little bit would stick out in the front. And that was probably, around the time, I would say maybe 1960.
It was 68. Yep, exactly. Exactly when that was.
The other day I was trying to list all the priests' names I could think of through my years at St. Henry's. And I came up with 17.
Wow.
And if you guys know of any to fill in the holes, because I am like in a middle section, but there might have been some before me and after me. But I'm going back to when I was the littlest of girls. They still had Father Epstein there, who was the pastor.
Remember him?
He retired right when I was in 1st grade, and they brought in Father Fiesel. So for anyone that went there in the 60s, it's like I'll get stooped my whole life, It's like those were the worst years at St. Henry's because he hated kids. There was no nothing. There was everything stopped. There was no scouting. There was no athletics. Then there was no dancing. But I have Father Epstein, Enright, Shackmuth.
Shackmuth, Father Shackmuth. I knew him.
Okay.
He was a good friend of my family our whole life. So.
Oh, no kidding.
He died a few years ago. Yeah.
Oh, he was handsome, I think.
He was very handsome. Yeah. Bill Shackmuth.
Okay. Because I would like to try to get as much history as I can. Then I have Father Fiesel, Father Kelleher, who was the one that I'm aware of. I think that turned out to be the highest ranking. He went on to be a bishop. Father Tyson, Father Kennedy, Father Davitt, Father Yadrin, who used to say mass with a toothpick in his mouth. Father Hertigan, Father Pollard, Meyer, Father Hoffman, who was the priest that married me. And it worked. It stuck. We're 38 years. Then after my time, I have Father White and Harrison and Father Ha. And then most recently, Father Fee, who is just the sweetest man. He did the mass for us for our 50th reunion. He's a very devout man. And for any of you that haven't been back, I just wanted to say that parish was robust. As sad as I was that it had switched out, and it needed to because the neighborhood changed, to a Vietnamese church, that church was packed. And the parishioners were very active. They were of all ages. They had a CCD program on Sunday mornings that was packed. And the kids wore little uniforms. It was vibrant. It was wonderful. So it was so heartbreaking to me to see this change, but happy to see, at least I was as an outsider kind of looking in, that Father Fee was named the pastor of the new parish. So even though they combined with St. Tim's and St. Margaret Mary to become Holy Child Jesus, Father Fee from St. Henry's was made the pastor. So anyway, that's my list. I come up with 17, and I can't think if there's any more that if anyone was around here earlier than me can think of or after me.
Father Simon.
Can you think of any?
Father Simon.
Father Simon. And when was he about?
He married my brother. So that would have been, let's see, 90s, I guess.
Okay. Because that's where I'm a week from back then. All right.
Did you say Father Niemeyer?
I did. Father Niemeyer with that grip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just remember Father Pollard used to be able to hit a softball really far.
He came to our 40th class reunion.
Wow.
Wow.
So he's still alive, right?
He is. He just retired 2 years ago. He had been made a Monsignor and also was in charge of all the Catholic cemeteries. So that was his. And Sue, are you still here? Oh, there you are. Sue, he did your mom's funeral mass a few years ago.
Oh, you're on mute.
You're muted. Susie, you're muted.
Mute.
But I saw him, and it's like he was always a priest when I was a kid. And then when I saw Father Pollard, whatever it was, however many years ago, I was like, how did we get to be the same age all of a sudden? I guess, not raising kids. He didn't have any stress. He had been taken care of. And it's like, then we look the same age. Anyway, you're in touch with him. Right?
What I was saying was, so my mother passed away in May of 2011, so that'll be 10 years ago this year. And I tracked down Father Pat to see if he would do my mother's funeral mass, because of course he was so involved with our family over all the years. And it was a crazy story. He rearranged an appointment that he had with the Cardinal so that he could do my mom's funeral mass, and that was at Immaculate Conception in Norwood Park. So yeah, Margie was there too. He came to the cemetery. He did a service out at the cemetery graveside, and just so special. So great guy.
It's funny. Does anybody remember the garden, the parish garden?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, isn't that off to the side?
Yeah, it was where there used to be greenhouses when the florist was there, and they demolished the greenhouses, and so there's a lot of glass and broken wood back there, and then they got the idea to put a garden in there. So my dad stepped up and he managed the garden plots for a couple of years, and it was really neat. It was like one of the first community gardens probably in the city. And so brought a lot of people together. He says that there was this guy who had gardened there. He was German, and he had come over, but when he came over, he was just like a regular guy. He had to give up all his degrees and his career back in Europe, but he was a horticulturalist, and he would teach everybody there, how to garden. My dad just loved it. He thought he was amazing. So. But my dad will never forgive Father Pollard for telling him they had to shut down the garden. He's just mad at him to this day. So, but anyway, well, this was fun.
Anybody been back through the?
Shut down the garden. I didn't understand that.
He didn't know either. That's one of the things I will ask him if I ever run into Father Pollard. Like, well, what am I missing here? Because I'm sure my dad's not telling the whole story or something. I don't know.
It was there when me and Kelly, remember we were walking around there after we did the video and stuff, and we were going like, and we're just going like, oh my God, because we were walking down our block and 2220 Rosemont, we're down that block. We're going, you can't cut through this gangway anymore. You can't go through here anymore. Everything's got gates on it. You can't get in anywhere. I'm like going, this is no fun anymore, because you used to be able to, that's how you made your routes. You go through, going between all the houses and stuff and already apartment buildings. and you can't get through anything anymore. Everything's all locked up.
Yeah. You used to be able to play tag on your block and run through between the buildings and hide in people's yards and climb up on their back porches. And yep, no, can't do that anymore. So, but
Or
my
you
parents,
can't cut across the thing because now they got that big thing where the big vacant lot. That's gone. I mean, that's if you saw out the window when we were filming, that's owned by the college, right?
yeah, Loyola turned that into a big soccer field. So
you can't cut across there anymore.
no, yeah, it's a good use of the space, but I just wonder what they're going to do with the St. Henry's property. So, is it?
It's
Does
sad.
anybody know what year they switched it to the Vietnamese church?
Hmm.
I want to say it was about 2001. No,
About
wait.
20 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Huh.
I know my mom was upset because she was still going to church there. I mean, not upset, like she knew that things were changing and whatnot, but she'd go over there and get some pho every so often. They'd have a big pho cookout, whatever. And yeah, she'd try to fit in, but yeah, that's too bad. Is there any way to find out, like keep tabs on what they're doing with the building, or anybody know?
You'll be able to see if they list it for sale. I mean, that'll be in listings if they're
As
going to
long
sell
as
it.
my father's alive, he'll keep track of it.
Yeah, can you keep us posted maybe?
Sure, of course I am. I'm on Facebook.
Yeah, that'd be good. So I'd really like to collect stories too. So, over the next year to maybe do some interviews and try to catch some of these people that are still around, some of our older teachers. If you know of anybody, if you make connections, let me know. And I will.
I did a little creeping around on to try to find Miss Blake. First, I couldn't find her, and I knew she was really involved with the poor handmaids, and they still exist out there in Donaldson, Indiana. So I looked at their Facebook page and creeped around a little bit, and I couldn't find much, but I found that I never knew someone named Sister Jolise. Does that sound familiar? But many people on the Facebook page, and I think they were ones older than me, mentioned Sister Jolise, and she's alive and just had a birthday, and they have her picture on there. She looks pretty darn good. So there might be a few nuns that are still around that could be reached by contacting Donaldson. So I couldn't find Blake because she had moved, and so I knew she was active with the PHJC. So I wrote the PHJC and they told me where she was, but there's still some around. So if you're looking to dig up some history, just try to contact the poor handmaids. There's just very inadequate history on St. Henry's. I was trying to do some research, and it's once the Cardinal Mundelein grabbed the main cathedral over on the corner away from the parish, it's like all the history stops. And there's very little, even on the St. Henry's website, it's sketchy. There's big empty patches. I looked at the Rogers Park Historical Society, almost nothing there.
Wow.
So, it's going to be anything you're going to find is pretty much going to be an oral history. And that's fading fast.
That's disappearing quickly. Yeah. So
Kelly, next trip we'll have to go down and see if we can find the Crackerjack Boy thing. Get in on that part because I know where that's at.
oh yeah. Does everybody know what Michael's talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the class field trip,
Well, we went in there and they had it.
The kids at Stone were going to the Museum of Science and Industry, and we get to walk over to the St. Henry Cemetery and look at Robert Muno's picture, the Crackerjack Boy. Didn't everyone do that? Everyone did that. They took
it on our own, right?
His picture's been stolen off the grave.
Yeah, I think that was gone when I was a kid, or broken.
Oh, it was there.
Yeah.
It was cracked.
Does anybody remember the name of the little store on the corner of Devon and Damon? You had to go downstairs into the.
D&D.
What was it called?
D&D.
D&D?
D&D, walk
D&D.
down the stairs.
Huh. What did they have there?
It was like candy and that kind of stuff, you know.
It was
It was
like
like-
groceries behind a counter. It was like old time grocery. You
Right.
beans behind the counter, and they used to sell wax teeth and lips at Halloween. And like you'd find a Coke bottle and turn it in for 2 cents, and you could get. Janet, that was right by your street, D&D. You're muted.
You're muted, Janet.
So.
Oh, now you're muted again.
Miller's drugstore, where I don't know when the tradition ended, but 8th grade classes would go over there at Halloween and paint the windows every year. So that was always fun.
And we have a photo of that, Mark.
Do you guys remember Goldenson's?
That's where, that was our pharmacy.
Yep. Oh. And now Villa Palermo is in there now. Well, not in the corner, but right next to it. So
There's a deli named Milt's on the corner.
Hmm.
And the proprietor had once, I'm not kidding you, he had bitten his tongue off, and he had teeth like mine that had space in between, and you could see the shape of his teeth on his tongue where he had
Oh,
bitten.
wow.
One of those things the kid always remembers.
That's pretty gross.
You guys remember Devon and Damon before they redid the whole thing? Yeah, it was D&D's, but it was Pete and Elsie ran it. And they
Okay,
had a house right across the street on the corner. It was green and white, and it was right on the corner across the street from them. And they had a daughter.
I do. Keep talking.
Yeah, they had a daughter they had one daughter, I can't remember her name, but then next to their house was going east was a big empty lot, and then a house where the Hamilton family lived for a while. And because Roy Hamilton was the janitor for our school. And then right next to that was the rectory, the convent, and then the rectory on Ridge and Devon.
And the clubhouse.
And the clubhouse, right?
Clubhouse. I don't remember that. Clubhouse?
I grew up at Ridge and Devon, and we moved there in 1965. So right on the corner of Ridge and Devon was the rectory, and that was the active rectory. And then going west was the clubhouse, which was the original St. Henry School. And then just west of that was the convent. And then just west of that was the Hamiltons. And I don't remember what year that they built the new convent, which was farther down Devon, and they also built the new rectory, which would be right by the school now. But whatever year that was, my dad took movies, so this would be probably Super 8, of the house and the convent being demolished. And so I think Brother Chris, he has all those old family movies.
Love
And it
to
would be
see
really
that.
cool if we could resurrect that and see
It had
the,
to be 1973 or earlier because those didn't exist.
Oh, definitely.
Even when I was in first grade.
Yeah, no, it was, I'm thinking it was, gosh, Margie, was it after we graduated?
Very late.
Can't
It was like around 69, because they tore down the greenhouse and all that stuff.
So right around when we graduated, yeah.
I think you're right, because the Hamiltons, then the Fortmans moved out and the Hamiltons moved into the house on Damon, just down the street from where I live by Damon and
Right.
Arthur.
Yes, I remember that house.
Do you think you could get a hold of those movies, the video?
Well, they're in my brother's basement. He lives in Lisle, and they probably have not been out of a box in 40 years, but definitely it's on my radar.
That'd be fun. Maybe we could get them converted to digital and have another watch party.
Who remembered Father Shackmuth?
Me.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you are right. There he is. Wow.
That's my sister's first communion with Father Shackman.
No kidding. Wow.
Wow. Oh, wow. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks, Kelly.
I will post a
Thank
copy
you.
of this, and I will. I'll improve the video a little more. I was, like I said, doing this right up till about an hour before this meeting, and I actually learned how to do Final Cut Pro though, so new skill.
I appreciate your effort, that's for sure.
Oh no, it's fun. Thank you, John, for the tour. That was amazing.
And next time we go in, Kelly, we can do an interview or two.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I really am interested in capturing some of this history. So if anybody wants to get a hold of me with tips of who I could go talk to, let me know.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Good to
Nice
see
to
you all.
Bye, everyone.
We're on the Facebook page. Give it a little love from time to time because things are going to get slow. So you
Okay.
that's the only way we can keep our community alive is to, you know, and it's been like robust lately, but there's going to be dry spells. So don't.
For sure. I'll keep poking everybody.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yep. Same to you.